Hello, and welcome to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the injury market's top program for doctors, lawyers, and insurers who want to gain greater insight on how to improve patient recovery results and deliver better services in the U.S. injury market. Please welcome your host, Dr. Jeffrey Allen Kronk.
Okay, doctors, what I want to talk about on this podcast is make damn sure your guru is an actual guru that has experience with what they're a guru in. So this is coming up a lot in spinal excessive motion testing and ligament testing and the whole area of the non-disc spinal ligament injury. So the reason why it's coming on is there's very large settlements now that are occurring in the market because it's a significant condition. I've been talking about this condition since 1995. In my private practice, for the last 8 or 9 years of my private practice, I tested every single injured patient that was in my practice. I have oodles of clinical experience with this test. Then later I came out and wanted to standardize it as a test in 2005, and began working with it with different systems, correcting those systems. Buying systems that have flaws in them and then having their manufacturers take the flaws out. So, and then creating our own system and then creating an AI involved with this system. So I've been on the forefront of this testing. There isn't anybody that has more experience with this testing, both in doing the testing and actually delivering the testing in the market than I have. And what we're starting to see now coming in are gurus that have never tested. They have never, if you ask these gurus who are now teaching doctors about this type of testing and DMX and this type of of software that you should use, if you ask them a simple question, how many have you done clinically? How many have you used clinically? What did you use? When you were in clinic, what did you use? Or if they're currently in clinic, what are you currently using? Right? Is it FDA cleared? Is the technology FDA cleared? Because here's what's happening. A lot of gurus are getting into this because they see the money now. They're in now for the money grab. Now they got to, it's a hot topic, so let's get in. I'll be the expert. And man, I'm seeing some serious bad advice that can get doctors really in trouble. I see bad technology that can cause a doctor to have problems. And so, I'll hear things like, oh, this is a medical legal test. It's not a medical legal test. There are no medical legal. Dalberg-Frye challenge is a medical legal test if you want to look at a medical legal test. So the people are saying that's a medical legal test. They don't have a law degree. They're not attorneys that are saying this. So one of the things that you want to do with an expert is you want to qualify the expert. And that's the topic for today. Just qualify. Look, I am definitely not an expert in everything. If you ask me, am I an expert in excessive motion testing? Yes, I am. I don't know how many hours I have, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 hours in it. I don't know how many hours. But I have a lot. I don't think there's anybody that has more. So is that an area of expertise for me? Yes, it is. Am I an expert in Facebook marketing? No, I am not. Am I an expert in activator technique? No, I am not. There are many things that I am not an expert in, but I know the things that I am an expert in. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you're out there and you're listening, because I see them in LinkedIn, LinkedIn posts now, which is really simple. You just grab somebody else's information, have ChatGPT auto write something for me and post it. You look like a genius. Right? But it's really easy to take a genius who's looking like a genius and ask them questions. How many of these studies have you performed? How many of these studies have you delivered as a service? Is the system you use FDA cleared? Has it been tested in court? So, you want an expert to be somebody that has utilized or done what they say they're an expert in. And I'll tell you what, this expertise today of, hey, don't do anything and you can build your practice. Don't do any work and you can build your practice. It's all false. It always will be false. If you want to build something worth building, it takes hard work. It takes work ethic. It takes consistency. It takes frequency. It takes staying focused. It takes not getting distracted. Everything that anybody wants that's really valuable is on the other side of hard. Because if it wasn't, everyone would have it, right? But me, one thing I grew up with a dad that went to work every single day. I never saw him miss a day of work. I saw him hungover. I saw him not feeling good. I never saw him miss a day of work, ever, in my whole life. The whole time I was with him, I never saw him in his whole, from the time I can remember, seeing him go to work to the time he retired. I never saw him miss a day of work. So work ethic was something that I had ingrained into me. And so now people can say, well, work smarter. I agree. I'm totally okay with that. But when somebody says work smarter, show me how you work smarter and what it is that you did that you have now great experience in. Because I'll tell you what, one of the things I've realized for a long time now is that the long road is the short road. The long road is the short road. The shortcut, guys, it's the long road, right? You think you're going to get a short-term gain, and then you have lifetime struggle, right? Whereas the long-term gain has maybe longer struggle, lifetime of ease, right? So whatever you're doing, you want to drill down and get really good at it. And the spinal ligament injury market is so wide open. It is so wide open right now because there are so few experts in it. And that's why you're getting these expert gurus now piling into it. And I say gurus, the gurus who have no experience, the experienceless gurus. And they're out there. And there's going to be more and more of them. Some of them are proposing really expensive devices. Don't need it. Simpler is better. Simpler is, so I have experience with the more sophisticated devices, more advanced imaging. And am I a guru in those areas? No, I am not. No, I am not. But again, I know how they affect what I do know. And what I do know is super, super powerful. What I do know is the spinal ligament injury is the most problematic injury in the market today. And this is, I'm not talking about disc. I'm talking so far from the disc. It is the most expensive injury in the market today. Now, with AI is going to be great in some aspects because AI will start to delineate who can get results with this and who cannot get results with it. I've been a big proponent of saying, look, you want to get results. What are results? Results are, I know what the injuries look like. Therefore, I know how to work them up. Therefore, I know how to document them. But the biggest thing is I know what to do to get patients to have a great physical recovery result. And I keep the majority of that right in-house. I do it right in-house. I do it as effectively as I possibly can. And I look at my results. If I was in private practice today, I'd be surveying every single person that left. Good. How many symptoms do you have? Good. How many symptoms do you still have? Do we get a full recovery? What would you grade your percentage of recovery? Oh, I'd say I got a 90% recovery. I'd say I got an 87% recovery. I'd know exactly what my recovery statistics are. And I actually would promote them. Hey, in the last 10 years, we've surveyed our patients, and when they have an auto injury, 96% of them feel like they got fully recovered, or whatever it is. Doctors, whatever it is. And then I'd be working on that number. I'd even be telling the patients, that's our number. That's what we're after, right? Because today, the world is changing. The world is changing, and AI is going to produce a better world, which means better results, which means intelligence that can direct people to the right care providers, right? So if I'm looking at somebody, and boy, I tell you what, the thing that just kills me in the PI space is everybody advocating, hey, we can get you better claim value. Well, there's two ways to look at that. One, claim value. That's not what the doctor's job is to do. The doctor's job is to reduce claim value, not increase it. It's to reduce it. Long term, if a person comes in a wheelchair and they come into your office and they can't get out of the wheelchair, but 6 months after they started treatment with your office, they couldn't get out of the wheelchair before getting to your office. 6 months later, they're running a 5K run. You've done your job. But did you reduce the claim value? Yeah, you significantly reduced the claim value. Now, nowhere is there more importance than in the spinal ligament injury market. Nowhere is there a more problematic injury in the market today for employers, for insurers, for the people that have them. It is a problem. And the significance of it is that it's starting to show up. So when I say these gurus are coming in, we're seeing settlements, jury settlements in, large 7 figures. We're seeing jury verdicts in high 7 figures. Now, what that does is when that starts to happen, then people are starting to look at the technology. They're starting to look at the testing technology. They're starting to look at how the testing was occurred. Was it done by the doctor? Was it not done by the doctor? What's the software that was done? Everything starts to get looked at. And we're okay with that. I'm okay with that, right? I have spent my career working on an area to standardize spinal injury testing so that the patients that have these injuries can get much better results. And the doctors that can get those results should be the highest paid doctors in the market today. So doctors, one of the things I'm going to tell you is be careful with who your guru is, because you can end up having to redo a lot of different things just because you got false information, because you're following a guru who never really had any experience in the first place with things like excessive motion testing for the non-disc spinal ligament injury. And so you want to qualify that person. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your results. Question them. Find out, how much experience do you have? I mean, I can think of 2 or 3 gurus right now I don't think have any clinical experience ever. It was, matter of fact, one of them that I can think of didn't like this type of testing and thought this kind of injury was BS. Not today. Not today. Now he's a guru, right? So I personally use this procedure, excessive motion testing, in the last 8 to 9 years of my private practice on every patient. And I've been a firm advocate. I've been doing it since 1995. So I can spot an expert and I can reduce a so-called expert in a minute. It's just really easy. It's just the quality of the questions that you ask, right? And remember, the quality of questions that get asked of you are what come up in depositions. That's what comes up in trial. When you get somebody good, a good attorney can ask really high quality questions that basically are hard to answer. And so, you want to be with people in this space. You want to be with people that have experience with it. So that's all I'm going to say on this podcast. Just qualify your experts. If you have questions about our program, the program that I have is called Smart Injury Doctors, go out to our website, set up a call with me, find out more about it. And doctors, as always, I appreciate your time, your attention. Hopefully something that I said allows you to avoid a shortcut that becomes a long cut. So doctors, thank you as always for your time and attention. I look forward to delivering more content on the next podcast.
You've been listening to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the #1 audio production show for professionals in the U.S. injury market that want to deliver better injury services to the patients, clients, or insureds they serve. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review and don't forget to join us on our next program.